Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Welcome into a hump day edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are so glad you are joining us here. And we got to tell the story of the immortal Mitch Spence. Oh, I'm telling you what, this cat is going to have an amazing major league career. Did you see what he did to the Rays lineup last night? Mitch Spence. Yeah. Some kind of ball club these Rays are today. Yeah, are we going to talk about the – yes, we are going to talk about the Rays. And we're going to talk about the Bucs today. That's right. We've got Scott Reynolds joining us at 10:30 today. We've got all kinds of good stuff to get to you. And good morning to you, Peter Blake.
Good morning. Yes.
Looks like everybody's fired up there this morning.
I'm telling you, Alexander's fired up there. And
what's up, Astro Alexander?
You got to love that. He's not too excited about the Rays game. Who could be at the end of the day? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he's excited about it. I'm excited about this show. And, of course, as always, we always say this.
Hump day.
It is
yes,
a hump day celebration here on the JP Peterson Show on a Wednesday, so you got to love it. So I'm ready to go. I'm definitely ready to talk Bucs, of course, and talk about these putrid Rays.
It's bad, man.
Yes, it is.
It's really, really bad. And this is what happens when you have decades of low payrolls and bad ownership and bad leadership. It's just, it finally catches up with you. They've done a hell of a job in the regular season for many, many years, but at some point it's going to catch up with you. The other teams are going to catch up with you. And this is the year. Lots of injuries. You have no depth because you just continually try to recycle players. You don't invest in stars. You don't invest in keeping players that are major league quality hitters. And this is what happens. And this is, it's gotten to a point where this Rays team, where I don't think I've ever seen an offense this bad in the major leagues. I don't think I've ever seen it. I mean, especially on the stretch that they're running, 15 up and 15 down from Michael Wacha, who's a 30-something, 4-5, 4.3 ERA pitcher. Not a bad pitcher, but perfect, 5 perfect innings. And then here comes a rookie with his third start, the great Mitch Spence, and he just makes the Rays look like complete fools last night. Weak contact after weak contact, constantly chasing pitches out of the zone. The off-speed stuff, it was moving. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like he could control it. I mean, most everything that Randy Rosarena hit was a breaking ball outside, on the outside, not even on outside the zone in the other batter's box that he's trying to pull to left field. You know? Yeah, that's not going to work, partner. And it's probably a big reason why you're hitting 156. Their pitch recognition is just god awful. And I don't know how you fix it. You know, these players are just are very undisciplined. Whatever they're trying to teach them, Kevin Cash seems extremely frustrated. It's just tough. It's just tough. So we'll get into the Rays a little bit. I want to just set up the show here real quick. Scott Reynolds will join us at 10:30. Bucs OTAs yesterday. We heard from Jamel Dean. Going to talk a little bit about him. The Bucs defense. Todd Bowles talked yesterday, so we'll check in with him as well. So we'll have lots of Bucs talk today. We got some really good playoff series going. I watched a lot of the Rangers-Panthers game last night, and it was, first of all, just really, really good hockey. Playoff hockey is just so fantastic. It just sucks that the Lightning aren't involved. But the Panthers are a really, really good hockey team. I said after they beat the Lightning, I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup. They are dominating New York. The Rangers are lucky that's a 2-2 series. You look at the analytics, that the Panthers are absolutely dominating New York. My problem is, Peter, I don't know whether to root for them or against them.
Well, I think it's tough. Right, because they're the stinking Panthers. But, of course, we saw the flashes of brilliance from that team, right? We saw it coming, and we knew how good the Rangers were going to be, so it was going to be a dynamite series. But, yeah, the whole thing is I've tried to watch it, but it's hard for me. It's like the Bucs not being in the playoffs for some years there, or being out of the playoffs. I don't know if I'm so interested anymore in the postseason when it comes to hockey. I love the hockey postseason, but I feel like the Lightning are just a couple plays away from possibly being there. But at the end of the day, who was the better team? The Panthers, and certainly showing it here the last couple games.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that. We'll talk some NBA from last night. Oh, breaking news.
Yes.
On SportsCenter this morning, I was like, breaking news. Oh, wow. What is this? This sounds like a big story. It's like breaking right into SportsCenter. Holy crap. What is it? Bronny James is going to stay in the NBA draft.
What has he done? What has he done to breaking news? Who cares?
What?
Is he second round
breaking
pick?
News?
Is he a second round pick at this point? He's not
maybe, but the only reason he's going to be taken in the draft is because his dad wants to play with him, and his dad is a free agent, and someone might be able to bring him in and sell some tickets. That's the only reason that this. I feel sorry for the kid. I really do. I feel sorry for the kid that is, the SportsCenter is a guy that averaged less than 5 points a game at Southern Cal, not exactly a blue blood basketball factory. Less than 5 points at Southern Cal. Breaking news. Breaking news here on SportsCenter this morning. Bronny has decided to stay in the draft.
Great.
I feel sorry for the kid. I mean, I just feel sorry for him. Because he has to know that if not for his dad, nobody would give a rip. No one would give a rip. And I'm just in terms of basketball talent. He's a fine young man. I just feel sorry for him. Right. And it's not his fault, by the way. It's ESPN's fault. What are you doing? That is not a breaking news story. Anyway, enough on that. We'll talk about the teams that are still in the playoffs.
Right.
Like you turn on these NBA coverage. It's like there's teams still playing for the finals, Like we're still, and they spend 90% of their time talking about where LeBron James is going to go and Bronny.
Right. It's kind of like the national media
still on.
With the Cowboys every year. The Cowboys have done nothing the last 28 years, and yet they always lead off SportsCenter, or they always lead off Fox Sports.
Get up his teased Dak Prescott's contract. I would say conservatively 90% of the time on their teases. Going into the show, 90% Dak Prescott. What are they going to do? His contract's not even up. And we talked about it didn't he just sign a contract? Didn't you guys just spend 4 years talking about his contract? Now it's up again? No, it's not till next year. Oh, well, can we wait till then? No, we're gonna just maybe if you talked about other things, like you'd get a bigger audience. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, that's an idea.
I wish I had their budget. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure.
I think we all do.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that. I got a lot of college stuff I want to get into today with we got baseball, we got golf too.
Wow. All right.
FSU and Auburn playing for the national championship in golf today.
Wow. How about that?
My group chat is lighting up. Yeah, everybody's excited about that after we choked to the Gators last year. So they got a chance to win the national championship. Auburn, I guess, has the best player in the field, but Florida State has a deeper team. So maybe we'll win a national championship today, because when we play Auburn in the national championship, we usually do pretty well.
Wow.
Kelvin Benjamin. All right. So we got all kinds of stuff we're going to get to today. What else did I have on the
Tom Brady had some comments.
Yes, tell me about this. I didn't see the interview.
Well, he was on Colin Cowherd on Monday. We'll get into those comments on what his expectations are to be now the number one analyst, and also the chances of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs three-peating. I got to ask you really quick, because we'll get into the comments in a little bit, but what do you think the chances? Are you going to Vegas and saying, don't rule them out, they can do it 3 times?
That's tough. That's tough.
I'm telling you, it is.
Really tough.
Comments on that, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay, we'll get into that. So lots of football talk. All right, let's start the show. I guess restart the show with some Rays talk here. And we're not going to spend too much time on it. a 3-0 loss to the A's last night. But again, it's like the losses are bad. They're very, very bad. But the way they're losing, I mean, this team is unwatchable. It is unwatchable. It's so frustrating to watch. I mean, tried to watch a little bit of it. I'm just on the replay last night. I can't even watch the replay.
I can't
It's
either.
so bad. I get fast forward. It's just like you go fast forward and it's just like bouncer after weak contact, after strikeout, after it's just ugly. It's so bad offensively. And what's weird is you look at what this team did last year with a lot of the same players. I mean, I know no Luke Raley, but a lot of the same players. And it was like third or fourth best in the league. I mean, how do you fall so fast in terms of offense? They are the worst offense in baseball. Don't get it twisted. You can look at all the analytics you want, but they are the worst offense in baseball. I mean, that's saying something. That is saying something. And how do you change it with this group? I don't know.
Is that Kevin Cash's fault? I mean, because I think a manager can only do so much, and the fan base wants his head because it won't turn around. But this is not Kevin Cash's fault. This is your main hitters. This is Randy Arozarena. This is Yandy. This is guys that have been disappointing. And you talk about Luke Raley, getting rid of him. It may not seem like a big deal, but maybe it is a big deal. Maybe he's one of those guys that is a glue guy that keeps them looser than what they've been, because whatever they're doing right now, it's not working. He also made contributions last year. People go, well, this is the Rays way. This is what they do. They replace players after year after year after year. This is the downside of it. This is the reason why you have to be more consistent. But even saying that, you would feel good with the way Diaz played last year, the way Arozarena, that they would be able to somewhat duplicate those numbers. But Randy, like you said, trying to pull everything, and it has been like that, JP, ever since that home run derby. Please never allow him to do the home run derby again, because his swing has been completely off. He's trying to pull everything, and it's not working. It's not working right now. It hasn't worked all year long, and you don't know when it's going to get turned around. These players have to look themselves in the mirror and figure it out for themselves. It's not all on the management.
And we've heard this about Randy anyway, that he's a little stubborn. Mm-hmm. He's his own man. He's a little stubborn. Doesn't watch a lot of tape, doesn't do a lot of research. Just wants to go up there and hit the ball. It's not working right now. So. And clearly he's not hitting the ball the other way. He's trying to pull it's ugly. And every team knows this. And they're not going to throw him anything but curveballs off on the outside of the plate. And he's going to keep trying to rip them. And he's going to keep doing the same stuff. It's selfish baseball. Just, kind of all-encompassing numbers from Topkins' article last night. 3-0 loss drops them to 26-29. The recent performance makes a case for change. Yeah, you think? Mm-hmm. As the Rays have lost 7 of their last 8 games, they're averaging 2.25 runs. 2.25 runs
Awful.
In 8 games.
Awful.
5.25 hits with no more than 8 in a game in hits, striking out 63 times and walking 20. I mean, that is beyond pathetic offense. Yeah. That is beyond pathetic offense. And that was last night against a 26-year-old rookie making his 3rd big league start after Michael Wacha, who is by every account a journeyman now.
Waka.
Making you look silly as well for 5 perfect innings. It's bad. And listen, I don't want to jump in on the stadium stuff or anything like that. I know you guys are tired of hearing about that. We've said our piece a million times. But what I've always said about this franchise is the leadership. And it just comes back to get you. And right now, they're struggling to get this deal done because as it's been exposed in the numbers, it's a very bad deal for St. Petersburg. And I think all the county commission and city council are starting to realize that. All the votes have been pushed back. The longer it gets pushed back, the less chance it happens. Then where does Sternberg go from there? Does he sell the team? Does he pivot back towards Tampa, where he should? Does Major League Baseball get involved here and pivot back to Tampa, where they should be? Has Tampa moved on and now thinking more about taking care of the Bucs down the road than doing a Rays Stadium? Do the Hard Rock people jump back in and start looking at a proposal to do something at the fairgrounds? The bottom line is, and I've said this for a long, long time, if we had some ownership that was more agreeable, like we have with Mr. Vinnick, like we have with the Glazers, and this deal would have been done many, many years ago in a true public-private partnership, and this team would be thriving with more revenue on the Hillsborough side of the Bay. And that's what it's all about baseball to me. I have nothing personal against Stu Sternberg, believe me. It's just all about where I want baseball to thrive here. And if you want to be able to compete and have an average payroll where we should be with the 11th largest market,
which you're
not the lowest payrolls, not the bottom 3 payrolls,
right,
and have real attendance like the Lightning do, like the Bucs do, like these successful franchises do, this is not rocket science. But it does take some commitment to be in a public-private partnership and not try to make as much money as possible. All right? Trying to be extremely respectful here to everyone involved. And again, if this deal gets done in St. Petersburg, I hope it produces everything they promise. The numbers would tell you that it won't. It looks like a lot like a deal that went down in Miami. It looks, I mean, even the people that were involved in that deal, David Sampson, who we've had on this show, and Jeffrey Luria, who absolutely filleted the Miami taxpayers. Bamboozled.
Yes.
It's happening again. And I've just tried to warn, but again, if it happens and they build it, I hope everybody comes. I hope it's full. The numbers would suggest that's not going to happen. And if we did have someone who was more agreeable to get this deal done, in a responsible manner where the most revenue could be produced and then put back into the team, it would be a much better experience in baseball. How's that? Is that respectful enough?
I mean, here's a respectful thing. How about spend over $90 million? How about spend to, halfway? Because the numbers suggest it. And I continue to go back and forth with people on this. Well, it's worked. It's worked throughout all the years. Well, how they won a World Series? I mean, at least you could say with the Marlins, the reason why you get your new stadium in the first place is because they won 2 World Series championships. I mean, we continue to go back and forth and talk about this. Could you imagine with all the talent that the Rays have let go throughout the years, if they kept some of it, that you may have a World Series or 2? And by the way, if you did that, you most likely would have a new stadium. But that's way too easy of a process to where an organization is all about numbers, because the numbers show you're not going to be able to win a World Series. And right now, this team will be lucky if they finish 3rd or 4th place in the division, the way, it's come together. It's just sad. It's disappointing. I feel bad because I love the Rays as a team. I love some of their players.
Absolutely.
I hate the
best manager in baseball.
Yes.
Best general manager in baseball.
Yes. And guess what? If Kevin Cash were with the Dodgers, more than likely they would have more than, the 1 or 2 the one championship they have in 2020. They probably have more than that. Yeah. Honestly. You know why? Because Andrew Freeman has showed you that, you can win a World Series championship with spending money. Joe Madden showed you that when he went to the Cubs, he exercised that curse.
Yeah.
So, but you gotta spend money. And again, it doesn't always give you that opportunity, like the Dodgers, right? We go back to it. They spend the most money. They don't always win, but it gives you a chance. The Texas Rangers are the prime example. How many trades did they make at the trading deadline? How many moves did they make to make their team better? Have you ever seen the Rays do that? No, you've never seen the Rays do that. Why
they've done some half-hearted moves with Nelly Cruz.
Nelson Cruz, right? Yeah. Washed up Nelson Cruz.
Never a premier star.
No,
never a premier star.
Never. And they continue to do what they want to do because they can't get what they want, and that's a new stadium. And as we always talk about on this show with the new stadium situation, until possibly that gets done, you hear they will never spend halfway or be competitive in Major League Baseball. So
it's frustrating. It's frustrating for the fan base.
It's Groundhog Day. And I tell you who else is frustrated about this. And if you want to go out to it, let's hear from Kevin Cash last night on the loss to the Oakland A's and that great pitching performance by Spence.
A lot of balls working away from the righties into the lefties, cutter slider. Pretty confident he's going to stay away from his fastball. He uses a cutter kind of as his fastball, and spots every once in a while a couple fastballs. But he got in a rhythm, and we just couldn't figure him out. I keep getting that question. I don't have the best answer. You just continue to work, and we talk about like hitting can be contagious at times. Right now, it's contagious. Maybe in the other direction, we need to kind of turn it around. Yeah, I thought Zach was outstanding. I mean, really, really good performance by him. The play was at second base. Kind of Bilal got in between, but added that inning a little bit longer, and Andahar came up, and I agree. Probably one pitch back that he left the breaking ball up in the zone, and he hit it for the 3-run home run. We've had stretches like this in the past. Fortunately, not recently. I mean, I'm going back. We had a really rough month of July last year, but we kind of had set a pretty positive tone to start the season. But yeah, without a doubt. The guys are grinding through it. They're feeling it right now. We're all kind of feeling it. We just cannot get it turned around, but we're going to continue to work.
There you go.
He's frustrated. He's frustrated with the players. He's frustrated with probably the lineup that he's given every day. I don't blame him. And, Nathan Elliott kind of says it all right here. No stadium approved stadium deal, no money to get players, no fans going to the games, Rays going on sale. They've been offers to buy the team at really, really good prices, but Stu Sternberg doesn't want to sell because he's making a lot of money with this team, and baseball prints money, especially for teams with low payrolls. And he's got a hell of a deal if it goes through in St. Pete where he's going to make a lot of money. So no, he's not going to sell anytime soon. Probably wait to see what he can get in this deal. And if it doesn't go through, I would expect him to sell the team. And I still don't think the team's moving. It's certainly not moving before 2028. And I think within that time, if there's new ownership, there'll be an initiative to get something done on the other side of the bay again, because that's where the money is. That's where the revenue is. And there's a lot of creative ways to do it. There's still a deal to be done. Ray Kennedy says Freudian slip on the post game out when Dwayne Stats said about the Rays getting shut out. It was the third time this season. Did he say that? I missed it. Then Solons ended it with, when we're referencing the current Rays play, like to flush this game quickly. The constant here, the Rays are playing like shiz. Yes, they are. I would think those guys might have, these are the times, and I've been on some of these broadcasts when your team is just struggling. And your on-air persona is just trying to keep fans optimistic, keep buying tickets, keep them in the games. And then as soon as you go off the air, it's just like, oh my God, this team is awful. They're so bad. We got to do this again tomorrow. Good thing I'm getting paid for this crap. And so on and on it goes. But this is, kind of one of the things I warned about is it's eventually when you run the team the way they run this team, you're going to have down years. Like, Kevin Cash's first 3 years. You're going to have these cycles, and this is an up cycle for this team, and they've kept it going a long time with 5 straight playoff appearances. So they've done a really good job, but it's going to cycle down, right? You're not going to get those great trades that are going to produce major league caliber players right away, and you're going to have those dips. And I think we're in for a dip for maybe a couple, 3 years. And if you can imagine them doing this deal and building the stadium in the same failed location as this team hovers in the basement for a few years until they retool to come back. I mean, there's going to be nobody in the Trop, and I mean nobody in the Trop, especially now as the economy continues to tank. And if you haven't been paying attention, folks, you go out to restaurants now that used to be full on Friday and Saturday night. They're not full anymore because people don't have any disposable income anymore. Right? For a while, you're putting stuff on credit cards. Oh, yeah, let's go to a game. We need to get out. Let's go to a game. And then you start, the credit card bills start coming due. And now everyone's getting to the point of, you know what? We can't do this anymore. We can't go out to dinner 4 times a week. We can't go to baseball games. People are starting to cut back. And who's going to pay for that product? Nobody. Going to a uninspiring stadium in a terrible location and a terrible product. That's a triple Lindy right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's is not a recipe for business success. I'm no Shark Tank guy, but I'm just can you imagine someone trying to come in and sell this product to the Shark Tank guys? Well, we got a really nice indoor stadium that looks like a Walmart.
Right. We got really nice uniforms.
We got nice uniforms. Yeah, we got they got pretty colors on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's $75 for a box ticket or an outfield. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's $200 to come to the game. Yeah. Yeah. It takes like an hour 15 to get there and then like 45 minutes to get home. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody want to buy in? Any of you Sharks interested? No, it's a no for me. I'm out. I'm out. No thanks. No, really. The uniform colors are great.
Yeah.
But you strike out 17 times a game. Okay. The only reason I'm going there is I might see history, a no-hitter for the other team.
Right.
That's about, you can sell that.
Every other day, every other night. I feel like you're on the hook of that. I mean, you talk about Waka, you talk about this guy here. I get it. It happens in baseball, but it happens way too much to this lineup. It's happened way too much to this lineup this year. So what do you do? What do you do at this point? Do you start bringing up guys?
Yeah,
do you start trading guys? Do you start trading Randy Arozarena because maybe he has been distracted? Maybe it is a case of a Devin White, right? We talk about Mike Evans and Steven Stamkos, the positive side. Maybe it's the same thing with Devin White and Randy Arozarena, that he is so distracted by the fact that he only got a 1-year contract, that he knows in the back of his mind that he's not going to be with the Tampa Bay Rays. Maybe you cut bait now, or maybe you start somebody else. Maybe you start bringing up some of these prospects that you're holding so dear to your heart because of the time. It's time to make some moves and do something different. And it goes back to what Cash said last night. We're doing the same thing over and over again. Well, guess what? Again, if you do something over and over again and expect different results, what is that, JP?
That's
intensity.
And I wonder, how much say Kevin Cash has in making the lineup, on a day-to-day basis. We've gotten clues before that maybe not a whole lot.
Right.
And maybe more now than he used to have. But, in terms of the roster, how much say does he have? Not much. And, how much of this was we can't trade off some of the big names because we're trying to get a stadium right now. And that would look bad. As far as I'm concerned, trade them all. And I know you want to be patient, but it's not like, these guys have been consistently great. I don't know. It seems like when we talk about the Bucs and a great chemistry and everybody rowing in the same direction, you just feel like it's kumbaya all the time. This team always feels like it's disjointed from, going back to the throwdown between Yandy and Randy. Have they ever gotten the clubhouse back after that? I don't know. I mean, they did win 99 games last year. They did start 13-0. So there was a lot of winning baseball, but postseason success has been squadoosh, and now it really looks like it's all kind of come home and crashed at the same time, and it's not good. Thomas Casper says absolutely nothing will bring attendance to St. Pete as evidence since 1998. Hard to argue, even when they have playoff games. Ray Follower says we want to watch baseball outside. Buck followers say it's too hot to watch 1 p.m. football in September and October. We want a dome. Excuses to not support local teams. You do have a point there, Nathan. Rick says fast food is now considered going out to dinner because of economy. Still will turn off half the lights so you can't see the empty seats.
Right.
And save money on the electric bill.
Yeah.
James said fans done with Rays ownership, similar to Buck fans versus Culver House. I think that's a huge part of it. I really do. Patient with guys like Palacios and Ramirez. This is just a bad team. Horrible culture.
Yeah,
I would agree. All right. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about a good team. We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the great Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report. So we will take a break and we'll come back and talk about this team that is on the rise, that you want to root for. Great ownership, great stadium, great everything. Love the Bucs. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So go with the local team that supports all your local charities here and knows the local legal landscape. It's much more important, folks, and they will treat you like the local treasure that you are, not just a number in a lawsuit. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves, good friend of the show. Be on tomorrow. We'll chat with him tomorrow about the FSU lawsuit and many other things. JeevesLawGroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. All right, guys, the Golden Diamond Source Memorial Day sale is here. Now, I know you guys are saying I don't have the money to buy a ring right now. Times are tough. What about this? 5-year interest-free financing, so you can buy a $5,000 ring and only pay $83 a month. You got $83 a month to put the ring on the finger of that special person. That's right, $5,000 ring, only $83 a month. So that's 5 years interest-free financing. And, of course, the Golden Diamond Source has the best selection. They have the best customer service. And when you shop at the Golden Diamond Source, you can proudly say our jewelry changes lives. We tell you this all the time, folks. The philanthropy of Julie and Steve Weintraub is incredible. Their entire staff very much involved in their philanthropy. The Hands Across the Bay charity helps so many abused women throughout the years. So this Memorial Day, pick a jewelry store that makes an impact. And don't miss their 5-year interest-free sale. It's the Golden Diamond Source, centrally located right there, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to GeddesGordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com. or call 813-485-6808. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
I made my goal.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Here as we, yes, she did make her goal.
She did. There you go.
Honey. Oh wow!
Wow. I need to take her advice.
Yeah, her stock picking advice. We need to get her a YouTube channel. I think.
Yeah, we should do that.
Her year to date is, I shouldn't even say.
Go ahead, go for it.
789%.
Wow.
And I'll show you the numbers.
Wow.
I'll show you
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Somebody's making money around here.
That's not us.
We're doing okay. Listen, I want to say a huge thanks to all of our great sponsors, including the great folks at Hydrate Heroes right there.
Yes. Nice.
We got some new flavors coming out, which I hopefully will get soon. Tropical Punch and another mango ginger flavor as well. So, yes, absolutely. Very excited about that. So thank you to the great folks at Hydrate Heroes. There's the logo right there.
Very nice.
And what do we get? Wow.
Look at that. Wow. Jeez. Okay. So what am I doing with my life, honestly?
Maybe day trading should be in your future.
Maybe so. Jeez.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the best news of the morning, though we definitely can't tell you about. But yeah, so all good here in the household. Big thanks to the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group. I'll send Scott a quick message here, see if I'm sure he's busy doing something, and we'll jump on here in a little bit. But let's talk a little Bucs, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. And some updates coming out with Jenna Lane reporting that there is no extension talks between the Bucs and Chris Godwin. Does that worry you? Because a lot of fans have been saying, this could be the last year. I always say, the sky is falling. No, the sky is not falling. Anytime it's been reported, the Bucs are able to get that done, and how valuable Godwin is. Although they have the last couple of years drafted a Trey Palmer and, of course, a McMillan out of Washington. So any concern that even if Godwin is going back to his natural position and he is productive, that this could be the last year? Because they are paying so many people, namely a Mike Evans and possibly a Tristan Wirfs here on the horizon?
This kind of feels a little like the Mike Evans situation, right? And many of us thought it's going to be tough to pay a 30-year-old receiver. But we got to remember, folks, the cap is going up. The cap is going up significantly every single year. You also have to remember that Chris Godwin just made a lot of money on his last contract. And you also have to remember that Chris Godwin is a Mike Evans, Steven Stamkos type of player, where he is not focused on, making that every last dollar, right? These are guys that are smarter than that. These are guys that are interested in winning, that appreciate continuity within a franchise, appreciate living in Tampa and the state of Florida with no tax and a very safe environment. There are a lot of other places that you could play in this league that aren't exactly great places to live anymore. San Francisco, Chicago, LA, New York. We could go on and on. A lot of the shenanigans, and that matters to these guys. They've got families. And this is, Tampa Bay is a very, very safe place to live compared to some of those other places. So there's a lot of stuff going on here that is really, really good and in a great organization. Who was it that just put this in the
Well, really quick, Lane says the Bucs will want to see how he performs in Liam Cohen's offense, moving back to the inside where Godwin saw a heavy amount of production in Bruce Arians' offense. And if he has an amazing year like I expect him to have, which I would say he could be the comeback player of the year because of the way Cooper Kupp was used in that offense. And we know what Godwin can do. If he has those type of numbers, of course, the Bucs are going to take care of their own. They've shown that. So I'm not concerned with it, although I will say they have a plethora of wide receivers also on the horizon. But you got to remember, Mike Evans, most likely, he could be gone here in the next 2 years after he eclipses Jerry Rice's record. And that's where your backup is and your depth is in case you have, knock on wood, any injuries. So there you go.
Well, also, Chris is coming off that injury, right? And I don't think he was 100% last year. I think you'll see a much better Chris Godwin this year, but he's still getting older. He's an older receiver. Sure. And there was an article out the other day that I retweeted about, our wide receivers becoming the next running backs in this league. Oh. You get to that level of paying, the wide receiver one now, that average salary is about $25 to $28 million. Okay. Now, can you replace it if you have a top 15, even a top 25 pick? You look at this draft and you can get some really, really premium wide receivers on rookie deals. And then you say, okay, he may not be as good as X player, that's making $25 million a year and that's going to be an older wide receiver, by the way, but he could be almost as good. So 80% of this guy is better, at $6 million a year on a rookie contract is better than $28 million.
Sure.
These running backs that used to get paid, they used to be the top dollar guys. Not anymore, obviously, and we're seeing, these guys get churned out each and every year. It's like 3 or 4 guys in LSU's team alone are fantastic. You got 3 wide receivers going in the top, round and a half. Mm-hmm. So they're putting them out. And so that's why if you're the Bucs, you're like, okay, let's see what McMillan does. Mm-hmm. And if McMillan comes out there and knocks your socks off like Godwin did in his rookie year or second year, then you're like, okay, it makes Chris Godwin a little bit more expendable. But here's the other thing. What's his market value? Is somebody else going to pay him $20 million a year?
Well, you look at his numbers, 83 catches, 1,024 yards and 2 touchdowns. The touchdown ratio kind of down, but still dealing with the injuries and also playing out of position, 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season. And this is what Todd Bowles had to say. He's an inside guy by nature. He can play outside, but he can make a living inside doing a bunch of things for us. And this is the key thing. We plan to let him do a lot of things that he does best. Amazing. That's what you do to your players. You don't have a system and you say, oh, this guy doesn't fit the system. You make him, you let him do what he does best, which is inside. Right. That was the problem last year. He also goes on to say he was coming off an injury last year. So I don't know if he was at full tilt inside or outside, but he looks a lot quicker, a lot lighter, and he's healthier now. That right there tells me comeback player of the year. Look out, Bucs fans, and Cooper Kupp. I expect big things from Mr. Godwin this year. I do.
I think he's going to have a huge season. And Chris Godwin's making, I think, $20 million this year or close to it.
Correct.
Chris Godwin doesn't have a problem not getting an extension. I mean, would he like one? Sure. I think he's also a realist, and he's also saying to himself, what's my extension look like? Is it $12 million a year for 2-3 years? Coming off this, or do I want to bet on myself in this offense, go out and have a monster season and then hit the market?
That's it.
You don't need to be a financial genius to figure out where that's at. So I don't. And again, Chris Godwin is not the type of player, like we see with other diva receivers that's going to sulk, threaten a holdout if he doesn't get an extension and all this me stuff. Chris Godwin's going to come in and go, he's at non-mandatory OTAs, for God's sakes, without an extension. Is he whining like a bitch like Devin White? No, he's not.
Nope.
He's coming to work and he's like, yeah, all right. You don't want to give me an extension? Great. Fine. Let me go put up 130 catch season, 7 touchdowns or more, and show that burst that's back, and I'll break the bank with either you or somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, now are the Bucs going to pay him another $20 million? No, they don't. They probably don't have that in them. But if he wants to stick around for a little bit less, fine. If not, he'll hit the open market and you have to move on. You can't commit, $45, $50, $60 million indefinitely to the wide receiver position. I don't know. Maybe you can in the new salary cap, because listen, if your offense is based off of having 2 A receivers, like if Chris Godwin comes out and has a 1,200-yard year, like I think he's going to have, and Mike Evans does as well, and you've got that 1-2 punch, and you've got Baker Mayfield under contract for another 2 to 3 years, why would you break that up? Why would you break that up? I mean, it's the rock of your offense.
Correct.
So maybe I would look into paying him and that's why it's so hard to predict these things, because things change so drastically in a year. The league changes. What's his chemistry with Baker Mayfield? Again, if he has a huge season, are the Bucs just going to say, no, see you later because we paid Mike Evans? No, right. They're not. They're going to find a way to pay Chris Godwin. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm not going to worry about an extension. If Chris Godwin's not worrying about it, I'm not worrying about it. If he's holding out, and which he's not going to do, then maybe I'll worry about it. But Chris is smart enough to go, that's not going to help me long term. It's not going to help my team long term. It's not going to help me long term, because it just other teams will look at that and go, oh, okay, we're going to have a problem with this guy even if we sign him. Because some of those guys, you notice the guys that squawk, they never seem to be happy. They even, maybe they get a new deal, they're happy for a year and a half, but then it starts again, right?
Yep.
I mean, look at Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Of course, he's got a lot of mouths to feed.
He's got 20 kids now, and then he also got Dak Prescott, who wants.
He needs $28 million a year. Trust me, that child support is just bonkers. Oh my God, 10 kids, none of them and none of them are by his wife.
No,
like, what?
That's Nick Cannon. He's trying to be Nick Cannon, he needs the money. He's got to be fast.
Yeah, he's got to be really fast to get out that door quickly. I mean, 10, really? I tell you what, that's one very tolerant woman. He's got it home there, but
yeah, she's got the money back too.
Yeah,
because if he divorces her, then of course he gets half. That's how it plays. So she'll let him do his thing, and then eventually she'll get tired of it, and she'll take half. That's how it goes here these days in marriage. So.
It's a pretty good deal if you can get it.
Yeah. If you'd like to talk about this, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the JP Peterson Show.
We got some comments coming in on the Bucs, so let's talk about this. Christopher Cole says some fans will always find something to complain about with the Bucs. True. Let's just hope for cloudy days in September. Drew Lang says they just signed Kevin Cash to an extension until 2030. He's not going anywhere.
No.
Contracts are made to be broken. See Craig Counsell, who got booed when he went back to Milwaukee.
You gotta love that.
They were playing his tribute video. And they're like,
booed.
So
here you go.
Nathan says,
yeah, there you go.
Cody Mack looks solid while putting on some man strength. Yeah, he looks way different. And that's good too, because they need that wide load sign on the back of your ass if you're a guard. Jeremy Lowe says, in light we trust, not stressing at all with contract extension talks with Godwin, and even worse. Yeah, this is what you get when you have great ownership and you have great continuity and great culture. You don't stress this stuff because those players know they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be taken care of. They know that. So James says, why worry? Godwin will make $60 million on this contract, which ends at season's end. It's okay. Bucs will be fine. Yeah. And again, these guys are smart guys. They're not guys, they're not Wander Francos running out, spending all their money on stupid stuff and doing stupid stuff. All right. They are married. I believe Chris married his longtime high school sweetheart, who was also his workout partner and trainer, right?
Yes, that's a real one, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't come along. She came along for the ride, but she was there through thick and thin.
They're a great team.
Yes.
They are a great team. They are again, smart people, serious people. You're not knuckleheads. These are the people that the Bucs employ, and these are the people that they draft, and these are the people that they pay and keep around. Yeah. Not knuckleheads. Bye-bye, Devin White.
Or Antonio Brown with, somebody the night before with an OnlyFans model who got paid to lick a toilet. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. You notice that those people have been weeded out.
Yes.
Yeah. And the way it should be.
By Antonio Brown.
Eric in Florida, I've not seen your name, but thank you for joining us, Eric. Appreciate you jumping aboard. Said the Rays are nay of the worst team in Major League Baseball, and I'm seriously losing the desire to follow them. Are now or one of the Rays are one of the worst teams. Yeah. I don't see how you can watch it every night. I can't. I know it's my job to watch the games. YouTube does this great thing. It's like a 10-minute highlight package.
Yeah.
That, I've kind of, I record the games. I try to go through them, but it's brutal. It's a brutal waste of time. And that's free. I can't imagine paying for the product. I mean, if you went to that game last night, I mean, if you drove an hour, spent, $200 or whatever it was, and saw no hits by Michael Spence through 6 innings.
Mitchell Spence,
whatever the hell's name.
Yeah.
Mitch Spence.
The only
Mitch Spence.
Right. Mitch.
Noah's brother.
Money Mitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Noah's brother.
Can you get a refund? Can you get a refund after watching that crap?
That should be the new thing in baseball. Get the refund if your team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have ownership that's going to criticize the fan base for not coming out and supporting it. Why not refund every time you have that type of performance, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
And people's the Godwin injury, occurred in 2021. Yeah, late in the season, obviously. So he played all of 2022. He hasn't had that burst since the injury. He just hasn't had it. And you just feel like now you watch him out there now. He just looks lighter. He looks faster. He looks better. And that was a devastating knee injury. That's a career ender for most guys. But as hard as that guy works and as much as he wants it, he can play through it too. He can play through it. And he did, and he played damn well. Money buys a lot of tolerance from people.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's funny how that happens. Yeah.
So Rick says, sounds like the cheetah isn't fast enough to get out.
From the Cougars and Pumas. There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Brown is only bought in because he was a Brady request. If no Brady, then Brown never becomes a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Yeah, I told you guys that. Bruce Arians told me that right to my face, that Antonio Brown will never be a part of the Buccaneers while he's the coach. And that's how bad Brady wanted him. That's how bad Brady went to the mat for him. And it was a mixed bag. I mean, we won a world championship. You won a Super Bowl with them, but you knew it wasn't going to last. You knew it wasn't going to last, and the culture eventually will crumble. And that's what happened.
Well, you had a chance to win too if he doesn't quit on the team, because you start to feel good about the offense.
But you knew he would.
Yeah.
You knew he would at some point.
Eventually he was going to do that. Yeah, with the fake vaccination cards and everything. Garbage.
Rick, it's probably the smartest thing he ever did. Rick, half the crowd skateboarded to the game.
Right. Yeah, well, we know now, right? Looking back at it, hindsight is 2020.
Cubs got a rookie starting pitching and narrowly threw a no hitter. Yeah, and I saw that. Look, by the way, like we're writing stories about the great skateboard culture, and we're giving out skateboard. Does it seem a little bit forced?
A little bit, just
a little forced. I mean, I'm happy. It's great. Let's embrace the skaters. Woo.
Yeah.
We'll build them a park. Are we building a skateboard park in the middle of the new? New stadium.
Put a skateboard park in the new stadium if you're embracing it. How about that?
Might need it to help attendance.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or the fans trying to learn how to skate. You go up the ramp after a Rays game and then you fall right on your head. It's kind of like watching a Rays game right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That meme, that skateboard meme. The Rays season.
Right.
The guy goes up. It's like, it's a 7th. Oh, no. And it comes down like a thud.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. Let me see what's going on with Scotty. Okay, next Wednesday. All right, next Wednesday, not this Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sorry, misunderstanding there. We'll get him on next week. But we do have some sound from Jamel Dean. Want to get to that, and Todd Bowles. We'll get to that as well. Lots of other stuff to get to here on today's show, including what very interesting thing happened last night in Major League Baseball. A huge thing happened in Major League Baseball last night that we are going to talk about. We'll do that next. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. I have Charity over at Italiano right now working on doing a bundle for me with our auto insurance and our home insurance. And it looks like that's going to save us some serious money, maybe $1,000 or more. You know how much of that work I'm doing? A little bit. We send her a little bit of information. She takes it all from there. She does all the work. We save all the money. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for Extravaganza Productions. You know, I've worked with these pros on so many big and small events. They recently did the Kappa Alpha Psi Grand Reunion, the Tampa RV Show Exhibit. They did the Skills Center opening of Tampa Bay. They can do those small events. They do the biggest of events. So if you were thinking about planning a meeting or special event, call the talented staff at Team EPI. They will give you a free creative meeting if you mention the JP Peterson Show. They will provide you with an exceptional experience. Heck, they'll even show you their huge warehouse with great props. Anything you want. They'll do it on time and on budget. You can reach them at their Tampa headquarters at 813-621-4700 or go to extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
This is The Strike. 102.5 WHPT, HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this Hump Day Wednesday with Peter Blake from the Sports Web. Thank you very much for jumping in here on the Wednesdays, my friend.
Love it.
Got a lot of folks in the comment section today, so we'll get into your comments as well. Want to get to some other Bucs topics. Jamel Dean, we got that sound lined up there, partner?
Of course we got it.
All right, so Jamel Dean, interesting cat. By the way, saw him at the All-Star event, and, you know, he's out there on the microphone, DJing at the party, just interacting with everybody. What a great dude. I mean, I really, really, really like Jamel Dean. And he's, you know, again, he was one of the guys that went on the Bucs cruise. And I think he did that before he even got his contract extension.
Wow.
He was like, he's just, again, great culture guy. There's I don't know of any me guys on this team. And I'm telling you, folks, that's not the way it is around the NFL or anywhere in professional sports. It's very hard to find these guys, but you can tell that the Bucs have made a concerted effort to draft them, to sign them, and to weed them out when they get one. And they show that, you know, sometimes you can hide it, right? And what do they say? 90 days in a relationship, anybody can hide anything. Sure. You know, and you know, when you're going through that process, sure, you'll sign some guys, you know, like the Deshaun Jacksons of the world. I remember when they signed him and you got a young quarterback, I'm like, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. He's going to be in Jameis's ear the whole freaking time if he's not getting the ball. Me, instead of Jameis learning to play quarterback. And I'm not giving Jameis any excuses here, but and it's a bad combination because Jameis is a pleaser, right? He's going to want to please everybody. So he's going to ignore Mike Evans because this other guy's squawking, and making noise. So it's like, you don't want those guys. You want the Chris Godwins of the world, the Jalen McMillans of the world. These are the guys that are about team. They're not about me. Makes a huge difference. So Jamel Dean is one of those guys. And I think it's one of the reasons he's around and Carlton Davis is not. Not that I don't think Carlton was a bad guy at all. I don't think he was a me guy. I don't think he was, how do I say this? As committed to playing football as maybe some of the other guys.
Well, he wasn't available. I mean, he was hurt for the majority of his career, but we all knew how talented he was. The availability was the thing. So,
but some guys, and I really don't want to impugn the guy because sometimes I think it's just, it's a mentality. Mm-hmm. Like Rondé Barber played a whole season with the Super Bowl season with the torn meniscus.
Wow.
I don't think Carlton Davis is going on the field with that. I just don't. There's certain guys that can figure it out and learn how to play through it, and are mentally tough enough to do so, and other guys that aren't. And again, I don't know exactly how bad his injuries were, so I don't want to impugn the guy. But some guys just play, and some guys don't. It's either you're really injured or you get a lot of soft tissue injuries or whatever it is, and they're serious and they are what they are. But it comes down to bottom line. You're either a guy that gets out there and plays or you're not.
Tom Brady played through
a lot of injuries.
He played through the 2020 year, the knee meniscus.
You figure it out. You figure it, obviously, Tom Brady's not backpedaling and having to switch his hips and all that stuff. I get it.
Sure.
But it just, Rondé did. And you just, that's why you play 16 years in the league and you don't miss games. Same thing with Derek Brooks. They play through a lot of stuff that other guys can't play through for whatever reason. And you are either available or you're not. And Jamel Dean has kind of been a little bit that himself. So he knows he needs to be more available and he needs to catch the effing football. He dropped 5 interceptions, including a huge one in the Lions game that turned games. Those things turn games. And if you're going to get paid $15 million a year to be a corner, you got to catch those balls. And he knows it more than anybody. And I kind of feel like he's going to have a good year. And I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him a lot. So let's hear from Jamel Dean, who chatted with the media yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you got to always come down with it because you may never know when the next opportunity going to come. Fortunate enough for him, it came back like 2 or 3 plays later, so rare.
How's your offseason been for you?
It's been pretty good. I've just been working on just different techniques to bring into my toolbox for the season and then just working on my weaknesses. Just press belling. That's it.
Jamel, obviously this offseason, Carlton got traded to the Lions. Has it been odd kind of working out here without him?
Yeah, it's kind of a different feeling knowing that I've been playing football with this man for X amount of years, and then just see him not here is like, kind of different now that my buddy ain't here. There's really not much more pressure. I know I still have to do my job and just continue playing like how I've been playing. I enjoy it because for the most part everybody's willing to learn, and most people are calm guys, and then they're not afraid to ask questions because they want to be their best selves for this defense, and they know it comes with a lot. So I appreciate them being determined and want to actually work hard during these OTAs. Oh man, I enjoy watching him out there. He's very instinctive too. Like for the rookie come out there and just be firing on all cylinders. You can't ask for more, but just to start off, it's pretty good.
Injuries are never anything a player wants, but you got to deal with them in this league. You've dealt with your share. I mean, that's really kind of been the story a little bit with Carlton too. So what have you done, and anything to try to do the best you can
Mainly just working on the muscles that I've probably been neglecting. Cause once when you start compensating for other muscles, then that's when the injuries start happening. So whole offseason I just been working on just building on like different parts of my body, so I'm be like well balanced.
What, like quad, hamstring imbalances?
Quad, hamstring, shoulders, everything possible that comes with the season.
Kevin Ross has been adamant about you getting your hands on the football, getting more interceptions. He said you'd be an all-pro player. You can do that. Has he been harping that to you every single day? And besides the jugs machine, is there anything you can do to kind of work on that for muscle memory?
For the most part, just jugs machine, and then even at like probably a month or two when the season's over with, when I'm not even thinking about football, still get a text message from him. You need to start catching balls. I'm like, okay, I know I dropped 5 interceptions last year. I'm sorry. I'm working to improve on that. So catching 50 balls a day in there. If I get a chance to like catch with the quarterbacks, I'll try, even though they be treating like the guy that shows up to the party and then everybody just leaves.
Aw, that's not very nice of him.
I know, right? I just want to get better too.
Right? I mean, seriously. Well, I mean, Antoine's out there doing the jogs at the end of practice, alongside some of the receivers.
I know, but I'm talking about I just want to catch the ball coming from a quarterback. Got to see how they throwing it.
Well, how good do you think this secondary can be? You lose Carlton, which is a big loss, right? But you still have Zion, and now bring back, Jordan, and of course we know what Winfield has meant to this league. Yourself, how good do you think you guys can be?
I mean, we could be great, man. We could be great. I feel like we brought back most people that we had for the first couple of years I was here, and then Zion, he stepped up last year, and then you can see like coming to his OTA that he like matured. You can see like he started to get like a vet mentality now.
Right.
So like I guess he's the next man up,
Yeah.
but standard's still the same.
What's it like for you now being the older statesman of that ring? Is it weird for you?
I mean, for the most part, I was always the oldest guy. Just Carlton he left college earlier than me.
Oh, that's right.
But I was always the oldest, so I get the big brother treatment. So when one player mess up, Dean, fix this. You the big brother, apparently. I'm like, okay. All right, guys, you got to do better.
Aside from not being with the guy you've been with since college and pros, how shocking was that? Is that like you live in a league where that can happen to anybody anytime, but is it just a reality kind of check?
Yeah, it caught me off guard because I wasn't even like aware of all the stuff that was going on until I got a phone call, and I looked on like the news and stuff. They said like Carlton got traded. I was like, what? I was like, oh, okay, that's random. But I mean, they always say it's a business, so okay.
In practice for OTAs, when you're going through these OTA practices, what is kind of the focus of these couple of weeks?
Basically just to fine tune your technique and then get a refresher of the defense. So when you get into training camp, it's not like you just starting completely over. At least you started to build a foundation during OTA. So when you start rolling through training camp, you start to pick up on your technique a little faster than you would normally if you didn't.
So like summer homework.
Pretty much, summer camp.
What are your thoughts on wearing the Guardian caps in training camp and then players now having the option to wear those in season?
I mean, for the most part, it'll be kind of different to see that. I mean, the hitting probably still gonna be the same. I mean, the pad only about this thick, and then for DBs, of course, we're not gonna wear it. Like, come on now.
So you yourself wouldn't?
No. Last thing I need is extra weight on my health, extra weight on me. So no.
Could you feel that extra weight, even something that is seemingly as light as this?
Yeah, you'll still be able to feel it.
For you guys, I mean, where speed is everything, you can probably even feel just the slightest difference in weight of a cleat.
Pretty much, it's all the same. Like you feel the difference.
Jamel, you work with Chris Godwin early on in practices. What is y'all's relationship like? Is there anything specific for doing those drills?
We just good on good. Just again, actual 5-minute releases, just to see so when we get to the season, be like, all right, I've been going against you. You one of the best receivers. You've been going against me, probably one of the best press corners in the league. So, it's just good. It's just good work.
Everybody loves Jamel Dean. He's just one of those guys that's is upbeat and fun and always smiling. But you could tell he was shocked by Carlton Davis getting traded. That was it was a little shock to his system, and I think it's good for him because not that it's not like guys need more motivation, but I think it's sobering at times to say, because you do get a little comfortable. You're making a lot of money. Jamel Dean knows he's not getting cut. What motivates you? Well, I don't want to get traded. I don't go somewhere. Hell, he got traded to the Lions, which is at least they're a winning team. Not that, anybody want to live in Detroit as opposed to Tampa Bay? No, thank you. No, like one of those cities we were talking about where, you park your car downtown, you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, no, thank you. So yeah, it got to catch the ball, and maybe him being a little bit more comfortable in his skin, being a little bit more comfortable in the defense, will help him. But damn, sometimes it's one of those things that gets in your head. And when that ball is coming to you, what is he thinking? I'm gonna snatch this and run it back. Or are you thinking, catch it, don't drop it. What's going through your head? Maybe you need some sports hypnosis.
Maybe you should have asked them that yesterday. That would have been a good question to ask him, right? What's going through your head when that ball is coming towards you? Is it catch it, or is it?
I asked him that one time.
Okay.
I actually asked him that in a post game.
Okay.
After he got an interception, and I said, "So when you see that ball coming at you, what's going through your head?" And he said, "Don't drop it."
Wow. Well,
that's not what you want going through your head, folks.
No, because
that is not what you don't. That's exactly what you don't want. What you want going through your head is, how am I going to return this for a touchdown? Right. You don't even want to be thinking about catching it. You're going to catch it. You're going to catch it. And you're looking, okay, how fast can I get to the end zone? When you're thinking about don't drop it, that's a bad headspace. Now, that was a couple of years ago. Well, was it last year? Maybe it was a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. It's kind of like the injury thing, right? Don't get injured. If you think about injury, eventually you're going to get injured. It's not a good thing. It's going to stop you from playing. So the same thing there. So hopefully, that confidence is there with the extra jugs machine there, working against working also against Chris Godwin, which is interesting in itself. Both of those guys getting better. Which, again, you don't necessarily have to have that with Godwin being there for OTAs because it's voluntary. But obviously, he's excited about the situation being in Cohen's offense, going back to his natural position and wanting to be more involved in the offense. Because we saw it last year, even with the 1,000-yard receiving season, he was largely ineffective. And that was why? Because he was not in the game plans. And you go through it last year, like the majority of the first half, you didn't have Evans and Godwin. That's not going to happen this year. Both of those players are going to be in that game plan when it comes down to it. They have to be. You can't.
Yeah, you just feel. I get more of a sense of confidence in Liam Cohen than maybe I had in Dave Canales. Dave Canales, he talked a really good game. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He was very competent in terms of explaining what he was doing, and the offense was better. It was significantly better. It was better. They scored more points per game. It was better than the Brady year. The last Brady year. So yeah, he improved the offense. But I have a feeling with the weapons that this team has, it should be better than 22 points a game last year, 24 points. They were 21st in scoring, I believe, last year. I think they can get into the top 15. I really believe that they can get into the top 15, and that's good offense. Yes. That's good offense, and that's winning football. So Godwin, people forget how good Godwin was when he was healthy. And I thought he was a factor last year. You got a 1,000-yard season, you're a factor. Sure. You're definitely a factor. And I thought he was important. You just didn't get into the end zone as much as you would want. And Mike gets a lot of those targets for a good reason. But, Chris caught a lot of first downs, a lot of key plays for this team. 1,000 yards receiving, that's good work. That's really, really good work. And this year I expect both he and Mike to have over 1,200 yards.
And a big part of that Green Bay one was Godwin. And remember the whole controversy with his wife coming out and talking about it, and how we assumed that it was Godwin speaking for her, if you will, with his frustrations, and how much of a big part he was with that Green Bay win. And then also, being a Baker Mayfield reason why Baker Mayfield had a perfect game right on the road. So you've got those guys, and when you throw to Chris Godwin, more times than not, he's going to catch it. He's not going to drop it. So that's big for a quarterback's mentality. A quarterback wants to go to. We saw with Brady, right, when he was there. If he threw you the ball and you dropped it, he wasn't going to go back to you. So Godwin has shown throughout his career, he's had a couple drops, but more times than not, he's going to be able to catch the ball. He
doesn't drop the ball. That's not been a problem with him. Getting a little bit more separation was a problem last year, but he's not dropping passes.
Right.
Now we find out, yes, this is why our DBs can't catch the ball, because they don't have Jameis throw it to them at practice anymore. That's a great point.
That's true. That's great. Remember those reports throughout all OTAs and through training camp? Jameis again throwing interceptions. Kind of like what Caleb Williams is going through. I don't know if you heard this, but he's been awful. I don't know what you take out of that. I know it's early in the process, but everything is going to be under the microscope at this point. And it certainly seems like he's not necessarily coming in right away. We hear reports from Sean Payton, Bo Nix. He loves Bo Nix. We don't hear the same thing with Caleb Williams, although DJ Moore had to come out the other day and say in so many words, this is my quarterback. I got his back. We're doing it. But
look, I'm not a huge Caleb Williams fan.
I know this. I know.
I don't think I thought Jayden Daniels was the best quarterback in the draft. I don't know how his leadership skills are going to transfer to the NFL. I don't think that's going to work out very well. And adversity is something that he's going to have to deal with, and maybe already dealing with in terms of throwing picks in practice. And that doesn't, you're learning an offense. You're learning how to play in the NFL. Throwing picks in practice is not, I don't think it's a big deal. Certainly not at this point. Because you one of the good things about practice and then OTAs and things like this is you need to push the envelope to see what you can get away with in the NFL. And this is the time to learn. And, things that because people say, and this is absolutely true, what's open in college is not, what's open in the NFL is not college.
Right.
I mean, if you got a small window, you got to make the throw. In college, you can wait to have a 2-3 yard window in terms of separation for a receiver and then make the throw. Not in the NFL. It's too late. It's too late by that time. You have to anticipate, and he's got to learn how to do that. And every quarterback goes through this. So I think I wouldn't make a big deal out of that early on. I think it's going to be more of how does he deal with the media? How does he deal with failure? How does he deal with being a leader on this level? That I think is going to be more difficult for him. James says everyone says Bucs with 9 wins, maybe 10, but if this team improves on an already good offense and this defense takes a big step, there's no reason why 12 wins can't happen. Bucs will be very good this year. Listen, I'm not going to disagree with that, and I hate to be a homer, but I think they're definitely more likely to win 12 than they are to win 7.
I agree.
Like way more like I think 9 is the median, 9, 10 is the mean. I think that's where they land. I think closer to – I'm more of a 10-11 guy than a 9-10 guy. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a 10-11 guy, and I'm certainly more of a 12 guy than a 7 or 6 guy.
Sure.
Now, if Baker gets hurt and Mike, that's you throw all that out the window. No team has depth to survive stuff like that. But hey, maybe that Kyle Trask is pretty good. You don't know.
Keep it up.
Nobody knows.
There, JP.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Traskaneer fans out there, the Trask Force, if you will. I don't know if you call it. Okay. Yeah, the Trask Force. You like that? Pro Football Focus. Yeah, this from Bucs Game Day says the Bucs have 2 of the best tackles in the game. In fact, Pro Football Focus had this to say about Wirfs. The Buccaneers' decision to move Wirfs from right to left tackle before the 2023 season raised questions about whether his performance would decline. However,
only for the knuckleheads, not for
exactly for the
people who watch them play.
Right. However, Wirfs recorded the second highest pass blocking grade among all offensive tackles and finished with a top 5 overall grade for the first time in his career, 83.0. Also with Gadecki, he was 8th among, or Gadecki, excuse me, Gadecki, 8th among right tackles and pass blocking grade at 72.5.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. With them both being young,
Yeah.
You've got your tackles here, I believe, for the next decade if everything holds up. And again, I never had any doubt about Tristan Wirfs going to the left side. I thought he would do great. I thought he would be the best left tackle.
The only person that was worried was Tristan Wirfs.
Right. We heard that last year, which is crazy in itself, of how phenomenally gifted athletically he was, especially coming in to that situation in 2020 and blocking for the greatest of all time and not skipping a beat. I mean,
not giving up a single sack.
Right.
Crazy. Yeah.
Besides Chicago.
And listening to Jason Light on the Pewter Report podcast, which they had him on last week.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him on as well. And Jason said that. He said, look, when our offensive line is good, when we have a good offensive line room, we win games. We win games. That has been my experience. Now you've got a great tackle tandem. You've got a right guard that is, I think, on the come and Cody Mauch getting bigger. And I think you got a center that's going to be a Pro Bowler for many, many years to come. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't transfer, but I'd be shocked if it doesn't. I think the only thing going to hold Graham Barton back is if he sustains some type of injury, and he's been injury-free in his entire career. So he's not like a guy that's had an ACL or anything like that. He's super smart. He's very professional. He's all business. He's really light on his feet. He's very athletic. He's big, 6'4", 320. I mean, what more do you? So you have a stalwart at the center position, and I think they got some pretty good candidates for left guard as well. Opeta's doing really well. I think Klein is a guy that a lot of scouts really, really liked in this draft that they got in the 6th round, and is a big sucker. Like, he's a big sucker. I don't know if he'll be able to start first year, but I think he could be a good player down the road. Hainsey could be a guy that becomes a better guard than he is center. So that they've got things to work with. I think that offensive line is going to be just fine. And I think it's going to be really good. And I think it's going to be a drastic improvement over what they had last year. So all of these things point towards what James says, more towards 11 and 12 than they do towards 7. So, and I know Vegas has them at 7.5. I'd grab that as soon as you can. I already did.
Yeah.
So go get you some. It worked last year. I think it's going to work again this year. Yeah. And every over prop you can get on Godwin, take that as well.
And by the way, going back to this Pro Football Focus article, he is only 7 right tackles in the league to earn 70.0 pass blocking and also run blocking grades. So 7. There's only 7 right tackles, and he's one of them. So
wow,
once again,
impressive.
Right, Jason Light. Once again, maybe he was out of position at left guard, which he was.
Maybe
his experience was left tackle. And
maybe it gets hot this summer.
Yeah, he was terrible at left guard. But you had to see, and he wasn't right for that. And then you move him back to tackle, and by the way, he was pretty impressive last year. He had his moments, but he wasn't like Donovan Smith,
Oh God, here he goes.
The human turnstile.
Donovan Smith is like Sternberg to me. You throw that red meat out to Peter Blake, and it's like, I'll go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Right, getting away with everything in Kansas City. I don't know what
he's gone now, Peter. Let it go. Let it go. He's gone.
What the refs are doing at this point. I mean, how many times was he guilty?
He's not our problem anymore, man.
I know, but how is it possible?
Where's he playing? Because Kansas City didn't bring him back. Where'd he go? Is he still a free agent?
I thought he was still back. I thought he was back with.
I thought
Kansas
they get
City.
rid of him.
He was at the roast, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, he was holding his own. Yeah.
This is interesting from Nathan. He says Carlton Davis is going to be run out of Detroit because of injuries and no interceptions. Great for batting the ball down. Great guy. They do not care about that in Detroit. Found this out from Lions fans. He's going to have to step it up, and maybe this change of scenery will help him. Zion McCullum and Tyke Smith to replace Davis and Dean. Maybe. Yeah. I'm excited to see what Tyke Smith can do, man. I really am. His college tape is so good. You go watch any Georgia game, that dude is out there running around balling in the SEC.
Yeah.
He's He's got some Antonio Winfield Jr. in him. I'm excited to see what he can do.
I like
Rick says he should be used to not having Carlton Davis on the field, maybe in the training room.
Who's more injured, him or Anthony Davis for the Lakers? Probably Anthony Davis, right?
Anthony Davis
because right now he just got up, slipped on a banana pill, and got hurt. He's on the injury report already. For the
this also from Nathan, I think is really true. Sue only missed games because he was suspended. No missed games due to injury. I'm very happy that he's teaching and training Vita Vea to do this. This is a huge development. I agree with you. This is Vita Vea at what, 29 years old now, 28, 29 at 360, whatever. If he can get down, Sue played at like 335.
Yes.
And if you ever saw Sue, without a shirt on in the locker room, that dude was not fat. Now, Vita's got, he's got a little bit of soft,
right
around, he's a big man.
Is he an Onyx stripper from the club? Is he as thick as the Onyx stripper? As who was talking about? Was Ryan Clark talking about that?
No, definitely not as malleable. That is a professional word to say. But Sue was a rock, and when you can get and not only just being leaner for a bigger man, but that muscle, and then just avoiding the injuries. And that's the key. And that comes from stretching and a lot of different other techniques that Sue clearly has mastered and Tom Brady has mastered. And to teach that to Vita Vea, if we can get Vita Vea to play for 3-4 more years, that's huge for this team. We can have 5 years of him and Cansey together as defensive tackles.
Ooh.
Wow. Yaya Diaby, if he comes into what we think he can be, Braswell, if he develops into what you think he can be, suddenly that's a pretty formidable group of guys up front that can get after the quarterback, and they've got some speed on defense that they haven't had at some of these positions. So I'm excited, man. I cannot wait to see what this team does. And that's what's, you don't want to be a homer. You don't want to be a homer. So you want to see if you can see there may be some blind spots that you're not seeing. But I don't know, man. I love this football team.
I do
We're
too.
in the middle of baseball season. I'd much rather talk about Bucs than anything else. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we got some Todd Bowles sound from yesterday as well, right?
We do, absolutely. He talks about KJ Britt.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Good quotes on KJ Britt. That's cool. So we'll hear that. We're going to get into Panthers, Rangers, basketball last night as well. Very interesting game there. Major League Baseball did something really big yesterday that I think is long overdue, by the way. So we'll talk about that. We're brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions. If you have a big event coming up, a small event, any type of event, graduation, you've got a big birthday coming up, why not turn to the professionals at Extravaganza Productions to produce one hell of a party, right? You got a wedding coming up, maybe? Do that with them. They do. Ashley just walked through. Extravaganza Productions can do that for you. Go to extravaganzaproductions.com and have a free creative meeting with them. They got a whole warehouse full of props that'll make your party unbelievable. Extravaganza Productions. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Honey, when's the wedding? Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. Just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source Memorial Day sale is on. You got a graduation coming up right now. You want to get a gift? What better way than to go to the Golden Diamond Source right now? Your destination for over 40 years, if you can dream it. They have it all under one roof. Folks, graduation gifts are very, very special. So get them something shiny, something that will last a lifetime. And that's the Golden Diamond Source. They have a tremendous selection there, great customer service. And of course, if you're selling or trading jewelry right now, you can get the highest trade-in value of the year for your diamonds. Upgrade today and use that money towards a graduation gift. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here on this hump day presented by the great folks. There we go at Hydrate Heroes. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com to get your free 3-pack. Also have a sale going on right now, $29.99 for a 30-pack. So that's 30 of these wonderful drinks, none of the stimulants, none of the XX sugar, only 5 calories per drink as opposed to 200 calories in your typical Gatorade or something like that with all the sugar and all the added stuff. This is good stuff in here, like amla fruit, a mushroom blend. It helps with inflammation. My knees have never felt better after staying hydrated. So many benefits to it. So I drink it. I probably drink 3 or 4 of these a day to stay hydrated. It's Hydrate Heroes. Tryhydrateheroes.com. Go to that website and get your free 3-pack, and then get the $29.99 special. They'll send it to you. Get your little shaker bottle as well, and you're good to go.
There you go.
As I am.
Yeah.
And this hot weather out there.
Yeah. Well, a good thing we work inside, right? God.
That's right.
97 today with humidity makes it feel like 107. Basically, it's like my Saturday night in my kitchen. Everything burns. There you go.
Ooh. By the way, I see that the Scotty Scheffler conversation with police has surfaced.
Wow.
We'll repost this. Maybe we can play that later on in the show. Did you hear about the cop that arrested him?
Well, I heard that he had a bet on another golfer or something. So
is that true?
I've heard something along the line. I don't know if that's.
I thought that was a joke.
I mean, I thought maybe it is, maybe it's not. But would you rule it out?
No, because did you see this guy's rap sheet as a cop? Louisville police. What a disaster.
So he's a bad cop? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Water's
So,
wet.
evidently, let me see if I can pull this up because this is really good. Like the whole damn thing is send
it to me and I can play it. I could try to play it off my phone.
This is Tim Ham sent this to me. So his name is Officer Brian Gillis.
Okay.
Disciplined several times for wrecking his vehicle and missing court. So he knows something about jumping on vehicles, I guess.
Yeah.
According to his personnel file, he was also suspended 5 days for doing donuts in his police vehicle while on duty with an intoxicated civilian in a Code 3 fashion. Where have we seen that before? Remember Superbad?
Yes.
With McLovin in the back. Remember that McLovin was in the back of the car?
Yes. Seth Rogen and
Seth Rogen was and Bill Hader were the cops.
Yes.
And they're doing donuts and firing their gun off. That's Officer Gillis.
Officer Gillis right there.
The guy who got Scheffler. Like literally doing donuts with some drunk dude in the car. How is this guy still on the force? Like, how has this guy not been fired after what he did to Scotty Scheffler?
Here you go. This is what should have happened.
Screw you! You're fired!
I mean, what else do we need to know?
I don't have no idea. I have no idea. Who does he know? What pictures does he have of somebody that's keeping him at his job at this point? Like it always goes back to Jeff Fisher, right? Jeff Fisher kept a job for how long? What pictures did he have of somebody in order for him to keep a job for that long? Seriously.
8 and 8 how many years of 8 and 8 did he have? Like 5 years of 8 and 8, 7 and 9 and a 9 and the dude was the ultimate 500 coach. Nice guy, by the way. Great dude. And that's why he probably kept his job for so long.
Right. Nice pictures. Yeah.
So this happened yesterday. MLB has incorporated the Negro League statistics into their record book.
Saw that.
So, and the major deal here is Josh Gibson now becomes Major League Baseball's career leader with a 372 batting average.
Wow.
Surpassing Ty Cobb's 367 when Negro League's records for more than 2,300 players were incorporated Tuesday after a 3-year research project. Gibson's 466 average for the 1943 Homestead Grays became the season standard, followed by Charlie Chino Smith's 451 for the 1929 New York Lincoln Giants. They overtook the 440 by Hugh Duffy for the National League's Boston team in 1894.
Yeah.
Gibson also became the career leader in slugging percentage at .718, OPS at 1.177, moving ahead of Babe Ruth's 690 and 1.164. So those are major, major changes to the baseball record book. And I would say long overdue.
Well, why not do the same thing with Barry Bonds in that record? Give it back to Hank Aaron, where it's deservedly, should be, with all the things that he went through all the years through racism and doing it the right way. Why not do the same thing with Barry Bonds and McGuire and Sosa and all those guys? Why not do the same thing? Why? Hypocrisy?
I would. I mean, personally, I will never recognize Barry Bonds as the home run king. Never.
Right.
Never. You look at the number of home runs that he hit after the age, 38, and you go look pre-steroids at the greatest players in the game, the Ted Williams, Hank Aaron, like everybody, all the greatest sluggers through their years.
Sure.
And you see a natural decline at age 37, 38, 39, probably more closer to 36. There's just a natural decline because of your hands get slower. Everything just slows down. Your reaction is not as quick. It's father time, undefeated.
Correct.
And you look at Barry Bonds' numbers, who went the other direction. So, sorry, that's just my personal opinion. But now Josh Gibson, and people will say, well, there wasn't as good at pitching in that league, and it wasn't. Well, I could say the same thing if you brought the players from the Negro Leagues into Major League Baseball, then the pitching would have been better overall.
Right.
And the hitting would have been better. Like there would have been a better league. These players were obviously just as talented, if not more so. So that would bring the other numbers down, in my opinion. So I think it's long overdue. some of the quotes here from Manfred. Said, "It's a show of respect for great players who performed in the Negro Leagues due to circumstances beyond their control, and once those circumstances changed, demonstrated that they were truly major leaguers." Yes. Duh. Jackie Robinson.
Yes.
Maybe the biggest single factor was the success of players who played in the Negro Leagues and then came to the big leagues. Yes, obviously. So,
do you recognize Josh Gibson as one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball
hell yes.
of all time?
Hell yes.
He has to be in that conversation now with this turn of events. You have to be.
Yeah.
To me, Willie May, 660 with what he did defensively was amazing. He's up there as one of the greatest. I think Ted Williams, you could count him not only as a great hitter, but can you imagine if he didn't miss 4.5 years of Major League Baseball time serving his country? You could put him in the conversation of having over 500.
How about that?
Amazing stuff. You would never see a Major League Baseball player go 4.5 years without doing something along the lines of playing a game to go do service. You would never see it.
Yeah.
Never. You'll never see that ever again. That's amazing stuff.
72% of Negro League records from 1920 to 1948 are included, and said additional research might lead to future modifications. Thorne said a 4-homer game by Gibson in 1938 and a home run by Mays in August of 1948 could not be included because complete game accounts have not been found. So, I mean, they did a lot of research on this stuff. So, tip of the cap to Major League Baseball. We don't often do that, but this one they finally got right. They finally got it right. Couple other notes. Brian Battie is doing much better, according to Auburn head coach Hugh Freeze. He's doing much better. He was the former USF All-American kick returner who transferred to Auburn, grew up in Sarasota. His brother was tragically killed in this incident. He was shot in the head. Just terrible, terrible, terrible incident that happened down there in Sarasota. But it looks like he's going to recover. He's going to live, but he may have extended paralysis or permanent paralysis. Probably not ever going to play football again, unfortunately.
Jeez.
Yeah, just absolutely awful. As I mentioned, the FSU golf team will play for the national championship this afternoon at 2:25 Pacific time out in Carlsbad against Auburn. So it's a rematch of the 2013 national championship game in football, which of course the Seminoles won. Also out in California, by the way, not far from the Rose Bowl where they will be playing today.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well, there you go. Florida State for the win. That's it.
For the dub.
That dub, yeah.
And the Noles will also be hosting a regional. Florida got in, which shocked a lot of people. They had not have a great baseball season this year, so we'll see what these are the super regionals. A lot of local talent, by the way. I want to do a little research today and see all the local talent that's going to be playing in these regionals, and we'll try to keep you abreast of what's going on with that. What other? Oh, want to talk a little Rangers. You watch any of the Rangers-Panthers game last night?
And I went to bed after watching the Rays game. I was tired of that, so I fell asleep. I was done.
Fall asleep during the game?
I probably did. I did fall asleep during the game. I fall asleep on my couch, and then I was like, all right, this couch is not as comfortable as my bed. I'm going to bed. I'm done. I've had enough of this. But yeah, I've seen the highlight.
Sam Reinhart, 112 into overtime.
Wow.
The power play wins it for the Panthers, who really have been dominating this series. I mean, you look at every metric, time in the zone, forechecking, almost every metric in this, shots. The Panthers have dominated this series, and it's 2-2 now as it heads back to New York. But the Panthers, I think, are in winning that game in overtime. It's kind of like last year with the Lightning in Toronto. The Rangers got the win in overtime. They got, a couple of wins that maybe they did not deserve. Shesterkin has been keeping them in. But had the Rangers won in overtime last night and been up 3-1, and they, just like Toronto, you steal those overtime games, you can win a series maybe you did not deserve. But sure. I think now the Panthers at even footing at 2-2, they're the better team. A lot of people were kind of second guessing some of the coaching decisions by the Rangers last night. Blake Wheeler hadn't played since February, was in there. He was the one who got the penalty, the hooking penalty on on Barkov. I believe that led to the power play goal of Sam Reinhart. And so no tears for the Rangers at all. So I guess I'm rooting for the stinking Panthers. Keep it in Florida.
Yeah, I guess we are. We
can keep making fun of the Canadian teams that way.
Yeah, there you go. Tom Brady had some comments on Howland Cowherd show on Monday on Memorial Day as we were off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your time with your family. Yes, he talked about being an analyst, the number one analyst on the team. He said there are definitely parts of me that are hyper competitive. Certainly there were as a player, as an athlete. I love that competition. I relish that competition daily. I didn't give if it was practice or if it was a game, if it was ping pong, if we were playing trash ball in the locker room, I wanted to win. There's other parts where I felt like I have matured a little bit and I don't necessarily have to be absolutely competitive at everything. It's a little more selective, certainly as a broadcaster. I don't think for me it's about competition. I think for me it's about, did I put everything I could into it? Did I give the fans everything that they tuned in for? That's really how I end up gauging myself. I have to look at myself at the end of every Sunday night saying, did I do a good enough job? Did I live up to the belief that Fox had in me? Did I live up to the expectations of my teammates, Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, Tom Renardi, and our entire truck? That's ultimately how I judge myself with the new role. Your thoughts?
Sounds like a guy that still wants to be in the fire.
Right, exactly.
Sounds like he's trying to trump up some competition, some expectation in the broadcast booth, and he is going to be sadly disappointed that it does not exist. As some of the guys have said, it's like you just, you don't, when you leave the broadcast booth, you don't have a W or L. You just don't.
Right.
And that's why I think a lot of guys don't like doing it. And I just don't think Brady is wired to do it. I just don't think. I mean, I don't think he needs the money, although the TP12 thing did not go as planned.
Right.
It never really caught fire as far as an exercise routine.
No.
He lost some money in the crypto deal.
He did.
Although they say he lost money, but he was paid handsomely to do those. Like he was paid $30 million to do the ads. And then, if you lose $15 million in crypto and you're paid $30 million by the scammer who's laundering the money through Ukraine, then sorry,
wow. No, that's okay. Well, you just give him $1 billion. How much more
then
money?
By my math, you're still up 15, right?
Right, sure.
You get paid 30 and you lose 15, aren't you still up? And the 15, by the way, is a tax write-off.
Right, sure.
Yeah. So
some of that went to Giselle on the divorce.
You think I guess he needs the money.
I think he definitely needs the money at this point.
But he's also an owner for the Raiders.
Well, and
my prediction is
that a great investment, by the way? Besides they're in Vegas, is that really a great investment?
Yeah, the NFL prints money in case you could be Mark Davis and still make billions of dollars.
You wouldn't know it by the haircut that Davis has. I mean, go get another haircut there, Dumb and Dumber, Lloyd Christmas, please.
God. Did you see the fact that his influencer girlfriend was pregnant?
Wow, on Instagram. Shocking. She's trying to get the bag. Yeah.
Well, then it turns out she's like, he's not my boyfriend. I went to a game. I went to a game one time with him. He's not my boyfriend. He's not the father of my baby. Like some other guy named Frank is, she said. So I don't know. I think I would have gone with it if I were you, hon. Maybe get some more followers.
Right. Well, but would you admit to being with that guy with that type of haircut? I mean, seriously, like she knows some style here.
If I can make a few million out of it, whatevs.
I guess.
Whatevs. No, I think she made a bad move there. She could have worked that for a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah. A lot more money. But
I'm getting $25 million.
She was offended though. She was offended that people were reporting that she was Mark Davis's girlfriend. She was offended.
Right.
Yes.
Because you're supposed to be with multiple partners these days. That's woman empowerment, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying it. That's what they're saying.
Frank was mad. So I guess
Frank. Oh, well, there you go, Frank. Let's see.
Hey, tip of the cap to the Mavs. I mean, to the T-Wolves last night, who I had winning the championship after watching them earlier in the playoffs. But last night they finished something that the Pacers could not do repeatedly. But Minnesota's had control of almost every game in this series. Same thing that the Luka and Kyrie late have been the difference in those games. But last night, Anthony Edwards step up, hit a huge shot. Luka was not as deadly down the stretch, and Karl Anthony Towns finally found where the basket is. Improved his shooting percentage by 41%. He was horrible in down the stretch and in the series so far. Finally found his shooting touch. And so now they win a game. They go back to Minnesota, I believe. Got a chance, got a heartbeat, but I still think Dallas moves through, and we're going to have Dallas and Boston in the finals, which should be a really good finals.
And I feel like that favors Dallas, don't you? I mean, with Luka and his final minutes, clutch antics, and then you have Kyrie Irving that is very happy at this point. And we knew how good he was, because if not for Irving, LeBron doesn't have a championship, because he clearly stepped up in the fourth quarter. And by the way, in this postseason, he is led in fourth quarter points, being Kyrie Irving. So,
yeah, he's really turned it on. Very impressed with him. All right, we going to get to that Todd Bowles sound. You want to?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to that really quick. He had comments about KJ Britt here. Here we go with Todd Bowles yesterday from the presser here on the JP Peterson Show.
There we go.
Throwing out a proposal to the NFL to change the all-season schedule, where there would be no spring on-field workouts, but in turn, training camps could start as early as June. Is that a good thing or a bad thing from your perspective?
I don't have one right now because the rules haven't changed. There's a lot of things brought up every year. Until they change the ruling on them, you monitor them and you kind of go from there. So right now I don't have a comment on it.
What about the Guardian caps? Wearing in the training camp, and then now players having the option to be able to wear them in season during games?
I mean, it's good to have the option to wear them, especially guys that get a lot of concussions. Again, we'll monitor that and we'll see which guys we need to have them on and which guys we don't.
What are the biggest things you're looking for? You talked to day one OTAs, now you've had a few more practices. What are those things that are differences between the start and how you progress through this process?
Well, the MEs have gone down. We have a lot of guys that haven't been in this kind of heat before coming in here. So getting in shape and learning the install and concentrating on that and focusing on your job. I think the MEs have gone down quite a bit. They need to go down a little bit more, but that's the thing we're focusing on as coaches.
Coach, can you talk about a couple of plays there? Sabache drops an interception, comes back with a remarkable one. Just his progress. Maybe catch those balls.
He sees them, he makes the plays, they throw at his feet, he drops the ones they throw at his hands. So he's got to do a better job of catching the layups and not trying to have the slam dunk competition plays and just do the easy layups and do the fundamentals right, but he's doing well.
For KJ, different, he played last year obviously, but maybe there was some alternating going on at the end of the year. Is he a three-down linebacker? Is his job sort of to keep it loose, or what would be his situation if that's what he's done?
Obviously, he can play all three downs, but we have so many packages and guys to move around. It's a little early to determine who will be on what. And 1 week he could be, 1 week he may not be, depending on who we're playing and what we have available. So, but he's ready to play all three downs. I love his maturity. He's grasping the mental part of the game and becoming the leader of that defense, along with Levante and Wynn and Vita, and we're kind of happy where he's progressing right now.
How do you see in terms of his kind of improving his coverage skills?
It was never his coverage skills with him. It was always his eyes. His eyes, he's gotten a lot calmer. He's settled down. He knows what's going on, and he understands where he needs to be on the field. I think he's doing a lot better at that.
Ted, you guys have been blessed to have kind of 2 3-down linebackers. If you have any thought for that, how much more complicated is it to not have 2 on the field at all times like you had?
It's not complicated. Again, we have so many packages that we may have only 1. We could have 2 or 3 out there at one time. But the complication part is pretty easy. Our thing right now is just to get the fundamentals down so everybody can play 3 downs if they have to.
For someone like Coach Jamel, who really started to come into his own last year, what do you think to kind of continue that?
Obviously, the biggest thing for Cody, you look for more strength. Obviously, coming in out of college last year, and he's worked on that in the offseason. He looks bigger. He's always been smart. He's always been tough. And I think the game has slowed down for him quite a bit. Just look for him to take the next step mentally.
Cody Malk talking about.
Entering this offseason after last year that was up and down, mostly due to
He's got to stay healthy, number one. That's the biggest thing. When he's healthy and he's on the field, he's a great asset for us. And to go from good to great, you first got to be healthy. And his message for camp is to master the defense and not worry about the offense. If he understands where his help is, he'll have a heck of a year.
Jalen McMillan.
Very competitive, extremely smart, very heady football player, which was what we thought going in. Really can't wait to get the pads on him, get him acclimated, and see him play in the summer.
Competition for Devin Thompson in returns.
I don't think anybody showed me flashes in 4 days. They're just catching punts right now. It won't come really until training camp right now. So everybody's back there catching punts. Hell, I can compete right now because I can catch them if you kick them to me. So we'll wait for the summer and see how that develops.
Coach, as a former player yourself, would you have embraced the opportunity to wear the Guardian cap?
Would he have worn the Guardian cap as a player?
Back when I played, some guys were playing without helmets hitting people. So I don't know if that would have existed. Maybe I would have thought about it. Back then, kill or be killed.
Much different.
Oh, it's a lot different. You got to adapt and adjust in the game. You want the guys to be safer, so I understand it. He's tough. You know, he comes off the ball. He's an excellent run blocker. You can't really see the pass block until the pads come on right now, but he's tough. He shows up every day. He really gets off the ball. He's been a pleasant surprise.
That's Sua Opeta he was asked about.
It's the same Baker. Just him and Liam getting on the same page. Him and Thad getting on the same page, embracing the offense that's getting installed and checking to the right plays. The drive and the vigor is always there, but the maturity of how he's handling the situation right now, learning the new offense, has been great. It's getting better. Thank you. Yeah.
Day to day, or
that's about his knee.
Getting better day to day and week to week. Thanks.
He had a knee replacement in the offseason.
Yes, he did. And still, yeah, absolutely. Still out there, kill or be killed. And she was on the being Jenna Lane. She was on the Guardian.
Yeah, she is clearly doing a story on the Guardian caps. I think the question for the players is it about protecting your head or looking like what was that cartoon character Kazoo? Was it Kazoo, the alien in Bugs Bunny?
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian. Yeah, maybe that was.
Yeah, they look like Marvin the Martian when you put that on.
The old Don Beebe. Remember Don Beebe had the.
Yes.
The whatever the hell that thing was he wore. I just don't think – I think guys will, like, forsake the safety portion of it just to not look like an idiot. Like, they just –
right.
Which is sad because, you should be protecting your head. If I'm an offensive lineman,
right,
I'm smacking my head every freaking play, I'm putting that thing on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
Or do I?
Players do. Dean absolutely.
Are you going to – Mr. Kazoo. Fred Flintstone. Okay, thanks, Rick.
Mr. Kazoo.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Mr. Kazoo. I knew you guys would know. They would know.
Oh, look at this, Miss Weintraub herself.
Hello, Julie. How are you doing?
How about that?
How's Park City? A lot cooler than Tampa. Those smart people get the hell out of Tampa in the summertime. Rick said, "Did he just say KJ Britt is mature and a leader?" Yeah. Those are all just shot. Listen, when Todd Bowles takes shots, I got to take shots at him. You're the one who kept him in there for so freaking long.
Right. He's even gone on record to say, look, Britt may not be as athletically gifted as Devin White, but he knows where he needs to be. I mean, that's
if
important.
You're taking, as I've always said a gazillion times,
right?
If you're not taking 2 false steps, and you're a step slower, do the math. Yeah. I'll take the guy that knows where he's going, who's a step slower than the guy who's trying to be a hero all the time, taking 3 steps in the wrong direction. And that's the difference between KJ Britt and Devin White. It doesn't matter if you're fast, if you're headed in the wrong direction or you're getting baited into doing something stupid again. Yeah, good riddance. Good luck with that, Philadelphia. He should fit right in with that culture there.
He's going to absolutely fit in with all those missed tackles that he's going to have.
Oh,
all the high expectations and talk of
you could take snipes at your quarterback like everybody else on that team.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. And the coach.
Me guys. Sure, he'll fit right in Philly.
He'll implode eventually with the coach and what
happened
last year. I just feel like it's right on the precipice of doing that.
A sinking ship. Let's hope it's sunk by week 2. When do we got them? 2 or 3? Week 3? Week 3 again?
I think it's actually 4 or 5.
Whatever. And they're of course their fans are already putting out there they're going to come take over Raymond James Stadium like they did in the regular season, but they did not do it in the playoffs.
No, they did not.
Keep those freaking Philly people out of my stadium.
Keep them out.
Or maybe we let them in, just let them roast.
Well, yeah, let them. Well, it's a 1:00 game, so it's not. So they could definitely roast.
Oh, they'll roast. Yeah. They'll need to be. The jail will be full. They'll either be drunk, hammered, or passed out. One of the
heat stroke for all the Philly fans.
All right, thank you, Julie Johnson Weintraub, for joining us here today, and all of you as well. Great comments. Peter, nice job from you as well. Sorry we missed Scott Reynolds. My bad, miscommunication there. He'll be joining us next Wednesday. So we'll look forward to that. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. Thank you guys for joining us. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube and podcast pages, and we will see you on Thursday.